Welcome back to the No Panic Zone here on the Steve Gruber Show. Good to have you here on a Tuesday. The story is coming out now. General Michael Flynn was set up and will be completely exonerated before this week is over. The latest example of the FBI overreach, the latest example of what was going on in Jim Comey's FBI, Andy McCabe's FBI. You wonder what the truth is. Well, one of the people who's been driving after the truth for as long as we've been watching is Tom Fitton. He is the president of Judicial Watch, and man, without these guys, I don't know where we'd be. Tom, welcome back to the program.
Steve, good to be on with you. Thank you.
Good to have you here. Let's talk about this. I mean, you're getting a lot of insight into the dossier being leaked and how it got there, and then Michael Flynn being set up by the FBI. The FBI having a side deal, off-the-records deal between the lawyers we're reading now. I mean, this corruption, it's unlike anything we've ever seen before. Not in my lifetime that I'm aware of, Tom. Where do we start?
Yeah, you had the incoming National Security Advisor to the President of the United States who was being spied upon by the deep state actors, the Obama gang and the Obama administration. And he's appointed National Security Advisor, and they decide to use the fact that he's actually doing his job, meaning talking to foreign leaders, against him. Somehow they've translated that into illegal acts by private officials doing their own foreign policy when, in fact, obviously he was talking on behalf of the incoming President of the United States. So they ambushed him with an FBI interview without telling White House counsel. Comey admitted that. They went around the rules in terms of alerting White House counsel. They wanted to interview him. And they went in there knowing what he had said to the Russian ambassador and tried to catch him in a lie. And evidently he didn't lie. That was the conclusion initially. He didn't have any physical indications of lying. But then they later changed their minds and concocted a 302 or narrative report of the interview months after the fact. And he has new lawyers now, Sidney Powell, who've come in and demanded more information from the FBI and Justice Department, information that should have been turned over to them, what now was just turned over, I guess, a few weeks ago. And in it shows that the Justice Department and the FBI, for instance, pressured, because we've heard this, Flynn to plead out for by threatening his son. Now we know that they wanted to keep that threat out of official documentation going back and forth because they didn't want to publicly disclose. Now,
right, because what they asked somebody,
information that's been withheld, but we don't know what that is yet.
Right, but when somebody is asked by the judge, do you enter this plea agreement of your own free will and so on and so forth? Yes, I do. In this case, it was not free will. They were holding his son and charged against his son over his head. But they had that on the side, a deal between the lawyers, they said. Tom Fitton here from Judicial Watch. This just shows more and more that there was a set play. In fact, one of the reports coming out that I don't know if we can substantiate yet said that behind closed doors, Andy McCabe says we're going to F Flynn and then we're going to F President Trump. I mean, this was a play from the beginning to create all of this. And then, of course, the dossier that's turned out to be basically a work of whole fiction. And then the whole Mueller investigation that now looks like it, too, was a work of fiction. I mean, this is outrageous. You say, in fact, we should go so far as to put Barack Obama, the former president, under oath to say, what did you know about these things?
Oh, there's no doubt he was running the whole operation. There's been news recently, the intelligence community assessment, which fraudulently smeared Trump as being Russia's presumed candidate in 2016, when in fact probably it was Hillary. They thought Hillary was going to win. But the point being that Obama then alerted and encouraged all of his intelligence agencies to quickly put out that report before Trump came in. And it included a dossier or information from the dossier. The day before Comey went and confronted Trump with that smear dossier,
right,
he talked about it with no one other than Barack Obama. Who else was in the Oval Office at the time during that meeting where they discussed it? Joe Biden, Susan Rice, the whole gang.
Right.
So they all knew. They all knew that they were going to use this dossier to spy on Trump. And now we know that everyone who needed to know, should have known, or or probably didn't, and certainly did know because the records were there available, that the dossier had no foundation and should never have been used to justify spy warrants on the president of the
Tom
United
Fitton
States.
from Judicial Watch here with us. Tom, let me ask you this. Will anybody ever be held to account for any of it?
Well, it depends what you mean by accountable. There's getting information out about what really went on. In terms of prosecutions, I am skeptical.
Me too. So let me ask you this. You guys have done, you've done amazing work. You've been persistent and consistent and steadfast in your pursuit of the truth on this. And America owes you a debt, I believe. What is the next big bombshell that's coming out? I mean, what's the headline from Judicial Watch come tomorrow? What's the next big thing you think is going to happen?
Well, the irony is we're still in a fight with Hillary Clinton in court to question her under oath about her emails. Court ordered that she be deposed, and she just filed an emergency appeal. So she may have to go under oath, it looks like, barring any unforeseen intervention by the courts, to actually be questioned in a significant way by Judicial Watch about what she did. And on top of that, we have more information coming out on the deep state scandal that was, in my view, the Spygate scandal was to protect her in part. No better way to make sure she's not prosecuted by freezing the Justice Department with a Mueller investigation or fraudulent charges against Trump. But we have more information coming out from Strzok and Page. I suspect we'll get some information from the Comey and McCabe scandals as well. This is all going to keep on coming out no matter what the Justice Department does in terms of prosecutions. So, you can rely on Judicial Watch to do the heavy lifting. The problem is our Justice Department and FBI are either incompetent, frozen, because of internal craziness, because the deep state hates what Barr may want to do.
Tom Fitton, I got to leave it right there. I'm sorry, I'm right up against it, but great conversation as always from Judicial Watch. Keep doing what you're doing, Tom. We greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.